All right, everybody, how's it going? Floating Head Brendan is in effect yet again, which is actually very appropriate because I'd say about half the team showed up today and the other half kinda didn't. So only part of my body will be on display today. Don't take that the wrong way, though. In fact, honestly, if you're thinking about this game, it's kind of Groundhog's Day. That's kind of how I would sum it up because for the second week in a row, we got very similar results, just with a different team in the winner's circle. So, on the one hand, it's good to be back in that winner's circle, and obviously, it was pretty clear based on the way the roster looked, the way the inactives list looked, the way everything was looking going into this game before kickoff. This was going to be a game about survival. This was going to be a game about just finding a way to survive. And we did do that. There was very little thriving, however, and all I can say is that it's a good thing that there's a very good chance a lot of these injured players are going to get back next week because, wow, did this team do everything that they could to try to make this more dramatic than it needed to be, and maybe even finding a way to drop this game. So, where do we start? I mean, defense. Everybody on this defense balled out except for Tariq Woolen, I think. And I don't know what's going on there, but we're going to have a conversation about that at some point because there's a lot of stuff going wrong there. And it's starting to become a problem. Like, it's starting to become a bigger problem than just, oh, he had a bad day. So overall, the defense played great. They overcame mistakes by the offense. They gave up very little. And honestly, a lot of the stuff they gave up isn't even really their fault. So, defense, you guys look like you're ready for a championship. I'd like to have some turnovers. I'd like to have a little more QB pressure. But overall, I mean, you're allowing 10 points in a game where you got dominated in the turnover battle. You did something really, really right. Now, the offense, on the other hand, for the second week in a row, they have a lot of good plays, but they can't finish these drives. They cannot finish these drives in a meaningful way. They can't end the game early. This game could have been done in the third quarter. And look, when I saw the inactives list before this game started, I knew, I pretty much knew that this was not going to be a game for us to just go off and score a ton of points and have a ton of success. But I was hoping we could at least play a clean game. And really, I can't say we got that. So, I don't know where we sit as of right now, but I guess it's 4-2. That's where we sit. We're at 4-2, and every week's an opportunity to get better. But the fact that this is the second week in a row where I see the same things, it's both encouraging and discouraging all at the same time. So, defense, let's start there. Again, Tariq Woolen, I don't know what's going on over there. I really don't. It feels like it's a confidence thing now, and it also feels like it might be related to the injury he had that kept him out of a lot of off-season work. But honestly, if this is the way it's going to be, then he needs to sit down until he's right, because this is not helping. He had multiple bad plays in this game. He had bad penalties as well. He took a sack off the board on Witherspoon. He's the one guy in the secondary who feels like you can pick on him a little bit right now. And I can't believe I'm saying that after last season. And I'm not necessarily saying it's all his fault, but if he's injured, he's injured. Like, he looks like a guy who isn't all there to me. And I think it's also become mental as well. Now, there is some stuff where, like the tackling, like the joke of an attempted tackle on the Josh Dobbs touchdown run, where he tries to tackle without use of his arms. That is hard for me to believe it has anything to do with an injury. It's hard for me to believe it has anything to do with, he's mentally not there. That's just bad effort. That's something that needs to be cleaned up yesterday. That's the one area of football where he was genuinely bad last year, tackling and run support. And I don't like to see him regressing in that area. And that's what we're getting right now. So Woolen's the one guy on this defense who can really be singled out. Like, Mafe had a huge penalty of roughing the passer, but I don't think he did anything wrong. I'm not saying that it was a bad call necessarily, but I don't think there's anything he can do about that. So I'm not mad at him about that. I thought Mafe played a good game overall. We lost a couple of edge rushers in this game. I know Derek Hall missed some time. Nwosu missed some time. So I can't be that mad about the occasional lack of a pass rush, but Darrell Taylor did manage to get in there at the end of the game and make some plays in the backfield. I thought Jordan Brooks played incredible all over the damn place. Bobby Wagner played good. There are some plays where you notice how slow he is now, but Wagner's still getting the job done overall. I thought Witherspoon played a great game. He got robbed of a couple of big plays that would have really helped solidify his game into an excellent game. But at the end of the day, we watched that game. We know how good he was. So, yeah, Witherspoon, I thought he was great. Both of our safeties were hitting, Adams and Diggs. I liked what I saw from both guys overall. I thought both guys brought the heat in this game. They brought an attitude that's been missing in Seattle. And they are giving some indications of what this defense can be if you just give it a little more time here. We didn't stop the run as well as we have most of the season, and I did say that Arizona's particular brand of running the ball was going to provide kind of a unique challenge, and I wanted to see how we would meet that challenge, and we didn't do great, but I would say that it was mostly just a few big runs, like the Josh Dobbs touchdown, like Rondell Moore's 15-yarder. On the whole, we did a pretty good job of 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, and then they just busted a few big ones, and that was going to happen eventually. Our run defense was playing way over their heads. So this defense, there's not much to say about them right now in the negative. There's really one guy who's not holding his own in Tariq Woolen, or Reek Woolen. You know what? I'm going to call him Tariq. I'll call him Reek Woolen when he starts playing a little bit better, but either way, whatever you want to call him, Woolen is the one guy who seems to be sandbagging this defense a little bit, and I don't know when it's going to get better, but I think it's a lot of different things. I'm seeing physical, I'm seeing mental, and I'm seeing effort. All three layers on him. And he's a guy who, obviously, we're getting our money's worth out of him still just by virtue of the fact that he's out there starting and not giving up 80-yard touchdowns every other play. But come on, we know you can be better than this. We saw you be better than this last year with a worse pass rush than what we have now. So there's a lot going on here with Woolen. That's the one thing I'm hung up on, and it's become a pattern to where it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get better. After last week, I was like, he's going to be fine. I'm not too worried about it. It's too bad he had that bad game. But after today, I'm like, okay, 2 games in a row. What's going on? Is there something bigger going on here? Do we have to be worried about something? I don't know. I don't know. But the defensive line, I thought, played okay. Not great. But they were able to get in and make several plays on Dobbs as the game got intense at the end. I thought they did a great job of keeping Arizona out of the end zone at the end when the offense and special teams was trying to kind of hand it to them. So Clint Hurt found the right buttons to push, it looks like to me. There are a couple plays where we're still playing soft zone. It drives me crazy. There's that one play on 3rd and 8 when Julian Love gives like 15 yards of cushion and they get the easy first. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Josh Dobbs is somebody who is going to take the underneath stuff if you give it to him for free. So I don't know what's going on there. But on the whole, like 10 points in a game where your offense and special teams gave Arizona 3 free possessions, how can you complain? How can you be upset about that? It's just kind of nitpicking. It's like trying to find little things to critique because you need something. So this defense, like I said, bottom line, they're ready for, I would say, a championship. In this league, yeah. But like I said with Woolen, it's starting to become a pattern, him not playing that well. This offense has now had 2 weird games in a row. I'm not going to say bad. Because here's the thing. When you go into this game, there's no DK Metcalf, there's no Zach Charbonnet, there's no Evan Brown, there's no Anthony Bradford, there's no Abe Lucas, and there's no Jay Curhan, and people are going to laugh a little bit about that one, I know, but at the end of the day, Jay Curhan was going to be our starting right tackle. We had to play Stone out of position, and don't get me wrong, I think Stone overall played okay, but I know who I would much rather have out there playing his natural position, Jay Curhan, and you know it's not going to be a big game. You know it's not going to be a great showing for your offense. So I wasn't going into this game expecting the offense to have a monster day. I'm not stupid. But I was expecting a clean game. I was expecting, at the very least, they would take what's there. They wouldn't give stuff away for free. And boy, howdy, did we not get that today. It was the opposite of a clean game. We actually had the opportunity to have a pretty big day on offense. We could have easily put up 30 to 34 points and be sitting here talking about how great we look. But, I mean, it cascades down, right? Waldron, I think he called a pretty decent day overall, but there are some play calls that make you wonder. There are some decisions made by this play caller that do make you wonder. I don't think it was like last week where there was some really obvious stuff to point out, but at the same time, I don't know how great Waldron's doing right now. I think that he is going through a little bit of a lull, and I'm kind of waiting for him to snap out of it. It's Geno, who had another shaky game, and look, the numbers are going to tell you that Geno played really well. The numbers are going to tell you that Geno Smith completed 75% of his passes, 220, 2 touchdowns, had a little bit of production with his legs as well. He ran for a big first down at the 1-yard line. But put down the Kool-Aid here, guys. You got to put down the Kool-Aid because straight up, Geno Smith let this game linger about a quarter longer than it should have. Another red zone interception, and that blew my mind because I was thinking to myself, he threw a red zone interception last week. There is no way he's going to throw another one. Like, he's going to understand the directive this week is just take what the defense gives you and move on. So I expected to at least get something good there when he's in the red zone, third down, and there's this opportunity to put basically put the game away the way the defense is playing, and then I know he gets hit as the ball's thrown, but that can't happen. Not after last week when that probably cost us the game. Bad red zone play cost us the game last week. So how can you let this game linger in doubt for another few minutes for the second week in a row? So I don't know what's there. The fumble, like obviously that's a 2-man operation with Oluwatimi, who is a rookie, making his second career start, and Geno. But looking at the play, it sure looked more like Geno than Oluwatimi to me. So you got to start learning, Geno. This is starting to be on you now. This is starting to be a thing where I can't brush it off anymore. These mistakes. And again, I wasn't expecting him to have a big game, and he made some great throws here. He made some great throws in this game. There was some really cool stuff out there from Geno. But the red zone interception is going to have the people chattering this week. The red zone interception is going to get people to talk about you, and I can't really defend you from that. That was terrible. We had the field goal basically locked up, and you guys know I hate playing for field goals, but on a day like today, when you don't have like half your starters, or and technically more than half of your starters, yeah, I'll take the field goal. So, Geno, this is starting to become a pattern. Offensive line, I thought actually played pretty decently. It wasn't great, especially run blocking got tough. But overall, I thought the offensive line did what they could. I thought that the receivers, JSN had his breakout game. Bobo played an amazing game. Awesome stuff from Bobo. We got some stuff from our tight ends. Walker, I thought, did what he could. It wasn't a great game, but he grinded it out and was ultimately a really effective part of the offense. But there are points left out there, and the guys that I'm looking at are Geno and to a certain extent Waldron, and it allows a game like this when really you should be happy. You survived. You have all these injuries. You're missing all these players on offense. Your whole offensive line is beat up. You're like so many things could be going wrong. You've got a fumble on a punt return, and of course I make that DJ Dallas video last week and he fumbles. You've got that going on. You've got the bad exchange on the snap, which is something that happens maybe twice a season for each team at most. Like, that's bad luck to run into. We should be sitting here thinking to ourselves, man, we survived, and that's awesome, but you know this game should have been over in the third quarter, and Geno made a couple mistakes. Obviously, the DJ Dallas thing doesn't help. Some of the penalties on the defense extended the game a little bit as well. And I don't know, I just feel weird right now, right? Like we covered the spread, we won by 2 scores, we led most of the game, but I'm sitting here thinking to myself, man, what was that? Special teams, we had the fumble, but Myers came through, although he did kick it out of bounds at the start of the game, which is not cool. But overall, I think the special teams, I mean, their kicker missed, what was it, 2 kicks? He missed at least one. I think he missed two. Either way, I think we won the special teams battle, I suppose, so that's cool, which is hard to do in a game where you fumble it on a punt return, but yeah, I just feel kind of weird right now. It's cool to be 4-2. It's cool to have the opportunity to get your players back, but again, I just wanted a clean game, and we didn't really get a clean game. 3 turnovers to 0 spells keeping Arizona in this game a lot longer than they should. This game could have been over. Like 10 of their points, 3 of their points came off the DJ Dallas fumble, and the other 7 came on that drive where Witherspoon had the pick in the end zone, and Mafe gets whistled for a. And again, I'm not mad at Mafe for that. I don't think he did anything wrong. It's just a turnover. I mean, I'm sorry, a penalty, because that's the way the NFL is right now. I'm not mad at Mafe for that. It just is what it is. But hard to really put your finger on how to feel here right now. But 4-2 is going to be good enough. So I'll see you guys later. There's going to be a stream tonight, probably during the second half of the Sunday night game. So I'll see you guys then. But look, we're going to get some players back and we're going to be better. But we can't be having these conversations about Geno every week where he's just starting to trend in the wrong way on these turnovers. Last week, I got over it real quick. I was like, it's just one game. Now it's not just one game. It's turning into a pattern. And again, you're not going to have 400 yards every week. You're not going to have 7 touchdowns every week. But you need to play cleanly. You need to play within yourself. You need to at least keep things. You need to at least score the points that are there for you to easily get. Yeah. So I don't know where this is headed right now, but I'm not. I can only be so excited about a win like this. So offense next week, you got the Browns, and we know what the Browns have been doing to most offenses this year. So gonna have to do a lot better than that. But we survived. Defense is balling out of their minds. Nothing but positive things to say about them. And we'll talk more about that tonight. See you guys later. Go Hawks.